Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing Arrow Season 2, Episode 10, Blast Radius. I know some people have, mixed feelings about this episode, which I can understand, but in my opinion I thought it was another really great episode, and I really enjoyed a lot of things about it. Especially, the Brother Blood stuff. The Brother Blood stuff, for me, is getting very, very interesting, and I'm really enjoying what they're doing with this character, because I think it's really cool. So, let's just get into the episode. We see Arrow. He's pursuing this man in the car. The bad guy's firing his gun wildly a few times, and he questions the man about the identity of the man in the stone mask, who we know is Brother Blood, but the bad guy doesn't know who Arrow is exactly talking about. So I really like that this episode really expands upon that Brother Blood thing. But before we get that, we do see Felicity. Felicity is in Starling City, sitting at the bedside of Barry Allen. Barry has been in a coma for about 5 weeks since being hit with the electromagnetic pulse, which is probably going to leave him with superhuman speed. And I'm really wondering one thing here. Are we going to see him wake up in Arrow, or are they going to wait till the pilot or the Flash? I don't know when the Flash is coming, when it's going to happen, but it's coming. And eventually we're going to see him in his own show. And I heard Felicity is going to be a part of that show, which I hope means she doesn't leave Arrow. I hope it's one of those things where, what the Vampires in the originals is doing, where they're connecting the two, or what Ravenswood Pretty Little Liars is doing, where they're connecting the two. And I do not want Felicity to leave this show, especially after this episode. So, Oliver is actually holding this fundraiser for the mayoral campaign of City Alderman Sebastian Blood, who is, his Brother Blood, and Laurel suspects Blood is hiding something. She can just suspect really well that he's hiding something. And as this is all going on, there's this mysterious man, who is going by the nickname Shrapnel, and, he's muttering to himself about the pervasion of politics while sitting in a car. He says he is declaring war on the city's leaders as he pushes a button. The nearby building completely explodes, and Arrow goes to see the explosion, rescues some people from the wreckage. And I really like his character. I thought he was going to be a really great villain. And my only complaint is that I would have wanted to see more of him, but I really like what we're getting with the Brother Blood stuff. They really show the Brother Blood stuff really well. However, we didn't really get a lot of this Shrapnel character. However, I did like it. What we got of it. So, Laurel comes to Blood's mayoral campaign HQ to talk to him about his connection to Cyrus Gold, and Blood says they were both orphans together, and Blood tells a sad story to Laurel about how he became an orphan when his mother killed his father and then disappeared. It distracts her for a moment, but she recovers and sees some more suspicious evidence about Blood. Now, at first I'm like, where are they going with this? You see at the end of the episode where they're going with this, because I had no idea what this meant at the time. I'm like, what exactly is going on with all this? And you guys will get to see after you get to see after at the end of the episode, which I will get to later. So Felicity comes back to town to help Oliver and Dig investigate the bomber. Another bombing goes off. She's able to track the detonator using cell phone towers, and Arrow is in pursuit. And the interesting thing about this is that when Felicity's tracking down Oliver's movement, it actually says Arrow. Now, I'm thinking that, remember in the first episode when they say he did not want to be called Hood, and he wants to be called Arrow now, because, now he has the full mask, and he has the, oh my gosh, what do you call it? I'm trying to think. Not the, glasses, but I can't think of it. The hood and the mask, thank you, the mask. The mask is what he has, so now he wants to be called Arrow, and he does not want to be called the Hood. He does not want to be called the Vigilante. He is Arrow. So the bomber gets away by using some smoke to confuse Oliver, blocking his cell so Felicity cannot track him. And Oliver and Felicity kind of have this little argument over whether she is distracted by concerns about Barry. And you see that Oliver is starting to get very, very jealous, because that Felicity still likes Barry. But the thing is that, she still likes Oliver as well, so you still have that going on, which I do like. Even though Barry's in that coma, that storyline is still going on, which I really do like. Then Sebastian announces his big rally to send a message to the bomber that he can intimidate the city, and Arrow's worried that the rally will be a perfect target for the bomber. He tries to talk Blood out of it, but Blood will not budge. So Felicity uses her computer skills to figure out that the bomber is Shrapnel, and Arrow is headed to the man's hobby store, and Dig is headed to Blood's rally to see if he can sniff out any bombs, and Arrow breaks in but finds himself trapped by motion sensors. If he moves, the store will blow up. He's forced to watch a TV monitor showing Blood's rally with shrapnel plans to blow sky high. At this point, I'm thinking shrapnel is actually one of Blood's sidekicks. I would not be surprised if that happens, because I think that's what's probably going to happen. So Dick and Felicity find the bomb trigger, and Shrapnel approaches them and shoots Dick in the shoulder. Eventually, though, Shrapnel flees with Arrow on his trusty mob in hot pursuit, but Arrow eventually shoots Shrapnel's detonator cord, making the bombs useless, and he punches Shrapnel in the face and catches the bad guy. So Oliver and Felicity eventually do make up about their little quarrel that they had before, their little argument, and here just sort of go back to Central City to be by Barry's side, and then we get to the very end of the episode, which in my opinion was probably the best part of the episode, because I really love the way everything is starting to be executed in this episode. Laurel goes to Smith's Island to visit Sebastian Blood's only remaining relative, Aunt Maya. The woman is sitting in the corner, admiring herself. She tells Laurel that Sebastian had been put away to protect his secret, and here is where she finds out that, holy shit, it's not his aunt, it's his mother. And he put her away because that's the one that murdered his father. And she says you can't trust Sebastian Blood. And as we see this, Arrow and Sebastian are shaking hands, basically working together. So now he has made a deal with the enemy, and that's what I love about this. He's made a deal with the enemy, and he does not even know it. He does not know he's made a deal with the enemy, and I really love that about this, because he doesn't even really know the truth that, he really is the man in the mask. And I love that about this, is that he's working with the enemy and he has no idea that he is. And I think it's one of the best parts of the episode. So now let's get to, Roy and Thea. Roy and Thea, they were about to, she didn't really know what was going on at the time. They were kissing and everything, looking like they were about to have sex or something. And they were also at the what do you call it? The fundraiser. And, they were there, and, there's this accident, and Roy gets his arm slashed by some glass, and we didn't know what was going on, but as, Moira, was being, captured by, Shrapnel, Roy actually saved his mother by, shrugging off the huge light stand, and, he jumps out and shields it from it at the last moment, and Thea cannot believe how he saved her mother. But when she looks at his arm, the wound is all gone. It's completely clear. There's not even a mark or anything. So Roy claims to be tired and he leaves, and he's clearly turning into a superhero. Also looks like he might actually become Oliver's sidekick, which I'd actually really like to see. I think that'd be really cool if that happened, because I think that'd be pretty awesome, and I really love that, he is starting to actually become this superhero, and I really love that about his character, because they really have done a lot with his character this season, and this is definitely one of the coolest things, probably the coolest thing they've done with this character all season long. So yeah, then let's finally get to the flashbacks. So the flashbacks, as we know, Slade killed Shado. Slade leaves. Sarah explains to Oliver that Slade has probably been changed by the Maraku in his system, and if the drug does not kill you, it almost warps your mind. And so from the island, Slade is freaking out and wants revenge on Dr. Ivo and anyone associated with him for killing Shado. And he realizes that Sarah used to be with Ivo and begins to advance on her. Actually, no, it was Ivo that killed Shado, not Slade. Sorry, it's been a while since I've seen the show, so sorry. So Slade lifts Oliver off the ground like he weighs nothing and tosses him aside. Maraku is really, really powerful at this point. Eventually, though, what happens is Sarah hits Slade with a big tree limb before he can really hurt Oliver, and it seems to snap him out of his anger. He's shaking and seems unable to figure out what is going on in his head, and at the very end, we see Dr. Ivo is using this walkie-talkie to tell Oliver and Sarah that they can either give him the Maraku or he will send his men into the woods to take it. And Oliver and Sarah look out for the slightly insane Slade, but he has run off with the Maraku. And that's where we end with the flashback. So overall, I thought this was a really strong episode. However, was it as good as the finale? No, the finale was still a very strong episode. I thought the finale was a little bit stronger than this, just a little bit. But this episode was still very, very strong. I really, really love where this Brother of Blood storyline is going, with Oliver working with Sebastian. He has no idea that he's working with the enemy, and it looks like next week he's actually going to find out that he is the enemy, which I really do love about this show. That's suddenly one of the best parts. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode. What do you think is going to happen with this whole brother blood thing? Do you think that Oliver's eventually going to realize he's working with the enemy? Also, Shrapnel. That's my other question. Are we going to see Shrapnel again? I would not be surprised if we did. I think we could see Shrapnel again. The question is how. I don't know why. I don't know how we see him again. But I think that Shrapnel is actually going to become part of Brother Blood's Suicide Squad. I would not be surprised if that happened. Is Rory going to become Oliver's sidekick? It looks like that's what happens in the comic book, so I think that's what's going to happen here too. And then also Slade. We know Slade's freaking out, and again, this is all leading up to how Oliver punched, basically how he got that eye patch, because we know that Oliver, probably gave him an eye patch somehow, so we'll have to see how that happens. And, so that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review of, I don't know, it's either going to be Sleepy Hollow. I have 3 shows to watch: Sleepy Hollow, Supernatural, and The Tomorrow People. So it'll be one of those 3 shows, and I'll let you know what that show is in the next video. Bye!